Crime is a major concern, not only for citizens but for the government as well. But it is the responsibility of the government to ensure that citizens can live in a safe environment. It is the coalition government's obligation to provide secure neighborhoods, and they are not shirking that responsibility. On Guyana 411 this week, we look at the strategy being employed and measures being put in place to provide for the safety and security of citizens and property. A high-level team led by President David Granger, Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu, and Public Security Minister Kemrat Ramjatan, along with others, meet weekly to discuss strategies and programs to deal with security matters. The adoption of a five-part security strategy that employs all the strengths of the Guyana Police Force in a more integrated way will help in meeting the security challenges.
It was President David Granger who convened a high-level security meeting very soon after taking office, concerned that the crime situation was getting out of hand. It was at that meeting that he presented a proposed strategy. Following a series of these high-level security meetings, which benefited from the expertise of persons such as criminologists, security experts, and persons who have written extensively on the country's crime-related issues, a draft document was completed.
The crime is a major concern for this administration. We have recognized that there are things which have to be done to curb that situation. At Cabinet last Tuesday, the Vice President and Minister of Public Security presented us with a draft strategic plan, which I think he did indicate in the National Assembly. That plan contains the elements of an overall strategy which we will use in fighting crime. But as the Honorable Vice President said, fighting crime, in his words, is not a T20 match. It's more like a test match. That was his characterization. But what I would say is that the work which is being done, the interagency collaboration, is going on. And I can say to you that every single week, the President is engaged in this matter. Every single week, the police, the Army, and all of the law enforcement agencies are required to prepare a report and to speak on their preparedness to deal with this matter.
The strategy is based on the following 5 elements: police administration, police organization, illegal firearms, police assets and equipment, and improvement in police communication. Although still in its draft stage, elements of the strategy are already being put in place.
It is but implementing that strategy that we are now doing, having drafted it a couple months ago after a discussion, a very major discussion with the President. And of course, it largely has to do with police administration, as we have it here, identifying high incidence locations for serious crimes, and in a process of a mapping of it and highlighting where on that map there are congregations or accumulations of high crime instances. Then police organization and training, which is a big part. It has to do with enhancing the quality of the policeman at work, really enhancing his capacity and capability. And that is largely strengthening the CID, which we have done, increasing the number of detectives, strengthening of the counter-narcotics unit at the police force, along with also making some more new recruits at Kanu. Of course, we do have now a big development in that we want to create an umbrella organization in relation to narcotics the fight against narcotics, by creating an umbrella organization called NANA, an anti-unit agency.
In addition to dealing with police assets and equipment and infrastructure, the resuscitation of the police marine wing to give gangs greater flexibility and access to inland areas is catered for.
We have to increase our assets and equipment like breathalyzers for traffic offenders, speed guns. We have to get more, I'd like to use the word tint meters, so that we can check out the tints for vehicles. And by the way, only a recent development, I want a public kind of consultation on this issue of tints. How much tints and light penetration we should have, whether it should be in the back windows only, and so on. I need to bring to the public my take on it and what they have to say, so we can have public consensus when we move forward.
The fifth element focuses on significant improvement in police communication using the internet and access to CCTV cameras. It also addresses the networking of police stations countrywide through internet access.
Having put that plan and strategy on paper, we are now implementing it. About 2-3 months now, we are on to implementation. It is going to be a slow process, because take, for example, more mobile patrols depend on lots more monies to have for buying cars and buying motorcycles and so on. Indeed, the 2015 budget, as we proved of it, had a number under its capital expenditure, and we have put in for those cars, motorbikes, bicycles, and so on already. The commissioner has indicated to me that by the end of the year, we should be able to have lots more cars, to the extent that almost all the station will have mobile vehicles to have the mobility that we want in the police force, every single police station.
Changes in the national environment have made some of Guyana's old approaches to crime fighting and public order ineffective. The new crime fighting strategy will reform the criminal justice system. It will make the police force more accountable and better able to deal with crime and anti-social behavior.
The efforts of the government to improve national security are receiving support from donor countries, especially in the areas of training and capacity building.
Even Argentina has indicated to me that they would like to enhance the marine wing of the police force, because they have a huge coastal guard and marine wing. And I want to get some more boats and other assets so that we can deal with piracy. And they have indicated as much. The Indian government has told us that they would love to have some Indian policemen in their police academy in India come here for training, and also us going there for training. They have to come to train us, and we to go for training over in India. And that is something I'll want to take up. A number of other countries, Britain, of course, they had put aside £4 million for a 3-year program, which was refused by the last government. Well, the President and myself are plugging Mr. Quinn, the High Commissioner from England, to ensure that we get that going.
The Canadian and United States government continue to fund training of police and law enforcement officers, as well as providing other technical support in the government's quest to modernize and professionalize the police force. Through the Caribbean Basin Initiative Security Program, training and additional funding are also provided for training overseas. An agreement was also signed with Russia for local policemen to be trained in that country. Further, Guyanese law enforcement officers are being facilitated through overseas training workshops and seminars in Ecuador, Peru, Canada, and the United States of America. These agencies are also facilitating specialized training of personnel at the Guyana Police Training Center. Guyanese are assured that the government continues to invest resources in making Guyana safe from criminals and other illegal activities, thus providing a comfortable environment for living.
After 23 years of what had happened and the mess that we are in, the fact that we never take the British security sector reform monies to ensure that 4 or 5 years ago that this process would have started, it has ended up in a huge mess. And it is going to be a Herculean effort. And there will be a lot of naysayers out there that we are not solving. Well, indeed, it might seem so, but a lot of work is being done to professionalize and modernize this police force. But it will take some time for results to be seen, for the fruits of our efforts now to be born. And so, please, you have to bear with us.
One of the challenges facing the police force is not having enough boots on the streets.
We've discussed with the Commissioner a scheme by which more policemen could be put on the ground. Right now, by my calculation, the police force is about 20% on the strength. We need to bring it up to strength, and in due course we need to pay them better and ensure that they have the equipment to do their work.
The coalition government remains firm in its commitment to fighting crime in Guyana and will continue to implement measures to aid in its reduction. Significant sums of monies have been expended on equipping law enforcement agencies and making them more responsive and capable to dealing with crime. The 2015 national budget has allocated approximately $350 million to ensure that police stations countrywide are fully equipped with the requisite resources to fight crime.
Traffic management is vital for securing smooth traffic flows and the safety of pedestrians and other road users. This has been intensified by the Guyana Police Force's Traffic Department.
We have since stopped diagonal parking and allowed parallel parking. With the diagonal parking, there has been an increase in damage accidents where a lot of vehicles, in order to come out, they'd have to reverse into the flow of traffic, and they would cause a lot of accidents. In that regard, we recognize that there is a need for us to curb the accident situation, and we implement the parallel parking. With the parallel parking, there are more space on the road. If a vehicle stops, the traffic does not stop, the traffic continues. So one can go along his journey without stopping or causing obstruction to other persons. The two-way flow of traffic proceeding west during the morning hours between 7 to 9 on the Embankment Road, there are a few persons who would still tend to proceed east along the northern side of the road. We have patrols who would normally be out there to intercept. Whatever so often, as soon as they spot the police from a distance, they try to either turn in some street or turn the closest access road. We are encouraging a lot of persons who do in building, one, to have the ground floor to accommodate traffic for purpose of parking, and those persons would be potential customers to their business. And we also encourage empty lots to create a paid parking system. That is somehow materializing, but is not fully materialized as yet. There are still heavy congestion around peak periods in the city. In order to have them not be motivated, we rotate the shift. We have them on a 4 on, 4 off. So they'll have work of 4 hours, then they'll rest a little, and they'll work again. The persons who would come in to relieve them, we do not stop at 8 and the other one starts at 8. No, we have a 1 hour interchange flow, which allows some amount of time for a high amount of police to be out on the road to direct the flow of traffic and to minimize any amount of congestion. Other than that, we have our crash truck in operation and we have clamping ongoing. This is for those who choose to leave their vehicle and just go about and do other things and causing obstruction to other persons using the road. Our last fatal accident was last night. We are at 95 accidents with 112 deaths so far. During this time last year, we had 120 accidents, 129 deaths. This gave us a 21% decrease in accident and a 13% decrease in death. For this time last year, we had 15 children died on our roads. This year, we have 14. Even though it looked like if we have a decrease in accident, we are not happy with the amount of life loss and injuries caused, because every life is one too many for us. Observe the rules of the road, and remember, do not use electronic devices while you're driving, and try as far as possible not to be distracted. And most important, do not drink and drive. Remember, our theme for this month, for this year road safety is be wise, stay alive, stop speeding, don't drink and drive. We want all of us to have a wonderful Christmas and a prosperous New Year. But we can only do that if we practice road safety every day.
Thank you for watching Guyana 411.